Hey guys, Carlo97 again. This time with a review of the Armor 44 scale Deathscythe from the Gundam Wing series. For colors, we're getting a very dark blue for the shoulders, the chest, the feet. We get an off, kind of broken white for the legs, the upper arms, parts of the body here, and the horrible looking face. Rounding up, we have some yellow here for the V-fin, the chest fence, and also we get a light gray for the backpack and the sights. Now, well, we of course also get a darker gray with the polycaps. Moving on to the stickers, we do get quite a few of them. We have light gray for the front skirts here. We have very shiny gold for the trims on his shoulders, though I have to say, because this is shiny golden trim and this is just regular yellow, it does look pretty off because these two are supposed to be the same color. So even though the gold trim does look pretty neat, it looks off with the chest fence and the V-fin. It would have been cooler if that was just gold as well, or this was just regular non kind of metallic-y gold. So yeah, there's that. We have, of course, the chin sticker, we have the sticker for the eyes, and rounding up, we also have a very nice big one here for the shield. Also, we of course have that same golden trim on the back there. So moving on with the articulation, head goes a bit up, bit down, rotates around about that far, not really a lot, because it is caught between those Vulcan guns that are stored in there. So it just rotates around, it's up about that far, not really a lot, even for a Gundam Wing model. Turns around above the elbow and bends for, yeah, not quite 90 degrees. And the hands rotate around. Now we'll wiggle around as they are in ball joints. The waist will rotate around about that far, and you do have to extend it quite a bit in order to get it to turn around all the way. Front skirts, as always, mold together, don't really go forwards a lot, about that far. Backwards, you know, about as much. Go out about that far. And the left leg does seem to be a bit on the limp side. We'll rotate around a bit, bend at the knee at two joints. For a bit more than 90 degrees, not too bad for a Gundam Wing model. Feet go forwards a bit, backwards, side to side, and we'll rotate around a bit. And you know, that is your lot. Also, those tips of the shoulders will not go up and down like the 1/100 scale. Going on with accessories, and this is, of course, going to be the biggest disappointment because we do not get nice beam effect parts. You know, the scythe of Deathscythe looks very pale. It would have been cool if we at least had gotten some kind of sticker to put on here, but, you know, so be it. At least it can go up and down, so that is something. Just put that in the hand. And even though it isn't colored, well, at least it is very functional. Goes to the ground very well, and he can very easily hold it with both hands. So at least kudos for that. Just gotta get that in here. There we go. At least that is a functional action pose you can pull off. Moving on, we get the shield. We do get a beam effect part, and stays in there very well. One cool thing the shield does is they're on a nice track, so let's put that in there. And, you know, it stays in there pretty well, though it does flail around a bit for some odd reason, but it's not really going to fall out that easily. Though, once again, just as with the scythe, it is very white. Goes onto either arm because, you know, both arms have the big holes in them to house it. And finally, to round off the accessories, we get the junior scythe. Goes into the back. Unfortunately, this thing isn't functional, you know. You should be able to put something in there, but it's not going to. Also, this one solid piece, so you can't just take this and put it in there. Which, you know, would have been a cool action feature, but so be it. And if you buy the WF version of this thing, which stands for with figure, you also get a very nice Duo Maxwell figure. And surprisingly enough, this thing is a hell of a lot more detailed than the Deathscythe itself. I mean, just look at all the detail. You even have the eyes, which are very nicely molded in there. I mean, just the eyes, not pupils or anything, but still very nicely detailed, even down to his braided ponytail here. And very shocking detail if you look at how the Deathscythe was made. Also, comes with a display base with his name on it, Duo Maxwell. As always, the inevitable question is, do you want to buy this? And, well, I don't think the answer is going to surprise anyone for the version without the figure. Absolutely not. If you must get a Deathscythe, you know, either go for the 1/100 scale or just wait for the All Gundam Project one, which is probably going to be released eventually. They made the Wing Gundam, they made the Wing Zero, so I would be very surprised if somewhere down the line they wouldn't make the other Gundams as well, such as the Deathscythe. Now the version with the figure for 600 yen, if you want some nostalgia and you just want a little Duo figurine, you want to paint it up, make it look good, then you might want to consider it. If you're nostalgic about the old Gundam Wing days, if you're nostalgic about the Deathscythe, and like I said, you really like the little figure included, well, for 600 yen, you know, you're not paying a lot, you're not getting a lot, but for some nostalgia, you might want to consider it. Even if it's just for the figure, kinda like what I did. Also, one thing I have to mention, this was definitely one hell of a build on Halloween, because man, this thing is bloody scary to build, especially that face. That face. The Gundam Wing derp face, which is definitely something a lot of the old Gundam Wing models suffer from. And that's definitely the biggest problem about this thing. One final thing I think I should mention is that this, well, the body itself is actually pretty nice. The legs are nice, are very nicely molded, nice, lean, mean. The big problem with this thing is the head, which might be another selling thing. If you just replace the head with something else, this suddenly looks a hell of a lot better. I mean, the scythe is pretty nicely molded, the shield is very nicely molded. So, other than the head, it's not that bad of a thing. So if you're into modifying, use the backpack for something, use the body for something, use the legs for something, they're actually pretty good. It's just the derp face head. And now it's the headless Gundam. Next up are the size comparisons. First of all, here is next to the standard size Gym Custom. And as you can see, the Gundam Wing machines are a bit on the small side, as they should be. And here is next to the Franken Gym, customized bit with the heavy arms accessories. Next up, let's put him alongside some other Gundam Wing machines. And, you know, as I said, they all suffer a bit of the old derp face. So let's quickly turn them all into headless Gundams. And the next question we have to ask ourselves is, who would win in a death battle? But let's quickly put this head back on there and compare him next to a more modern Gundam Wing model kit, the Wing Gundam. Yes, this thing isn't really proportional, but can you imagine the Deathscythe looking something like this? And finally, here he is next to the Zaku 3. Well, that's all for this video. Hope you guys all had a great Halloween. I personally, well, I watched one of the most terrifying films I've ever seen. It almost drove me to madness. It was so absolutely horrifying. And well, that horrifying movie that almost drove me into destruction will have something to do with the next review. Anyways, that's all for this time, and see you guys next time.